Time for some good old-fashioned comfort food. Today I'm making tuna casserole. Alright, so here's the ingredients I'm going to use. Some chopped celery and chopped onion and red bell pepper. I think the recipe calls for 1 red pepper, but I've just got these mini ones, so I'm going to use 3 of them. Egg noodles, Dijon mustard, tuna. I like to put cream of chicken soup in there. The recipe calls for whole milk and no cream of chicken soup, but I like to use cream of chicken soup because I'm using almond milk and it just adds a really good flavor. So I just use a little bit less milk and then throw in the can of cream of chicken soup. Paprika, some breadcrumbs, butter, of course, salt and pepper, peas, the almond milk, flour, cheddar jack cheese combo. I think the recipe calls for cheddar cheese, but that's what I've got on hand. And then in there with the breadcrumbs is some Parmesan cheese. So the first thing I'm going to do is cook these egg noodles, about 3 cups worth, according to the package directions. So let's get started. Alright, my water is at a rapid boil, so I'm going to put my noodles in. And those will probably cook for about 7 or 8 minutes. Take them out when they're still al dente because they'll continue cooking in the oven in the casserole, so let those cook. Okay, my noodles are about done, so I'm going to strain these and then set them aside, and we'll start on the next step. Are you waiting for something to hit the floor? Are you helping? Are you helping? Are you just waiting for an opportunity to grab something off the floor, aren't you? Alright, so I've got my noodles draining and set aside. Now I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of butter. I'm just going to use the same pot I was just using. So we're going to let this melt, and then we're going to add our vegetables and let them saute up until they're softened. And while my noodles were cooking, I was working on draining my tuna. And it's always dicey in the RV because you can't dump it down the drain because it'll stink up your tanks. So I was trying to strain it into a large measuring cup, and of course it squirted all over. So much for being neat. But I feel like I should put some garlic in here for good measure. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm going to do it. Gotta have at least a little garlic, right? Tuna casserole for my cooking channel. No, it's okay. That was Colleen. She could smell the cooking outside and was coming to see what was going on. Alright, these are starting to get translucent, but I definitely want that celery to be nice and soft. Celery's been the problematic vegetable before, where if I chopped it too big, it wasn't soft enough in the final casserole, so I'm just gonna let it go. Let it go, let it go. It's actually pretty early in the day. I'm making this ahead of time, and then I'm just gonna pop it in the fridge, and then later all I'll have to do is bake it. I love that. Next thing we're going to add to this is our flour and our salt and our pepper. So I think I'll just mix my salt and pepper and flour together. I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of each one. Mix that up a little bit. Alright, I think those are done enough. They're nice and translucent. They've all changed colors. So now we're going to add the flour, salt, and pepper. And then we're going to slowly stir in our milk and cream of chicken soup. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. We are going to continue to cook this until it's nice and bubbly. And then we will add our tuna and our cheddar cheese mix. Mustard, actually I think I'm supposed to add the mustard right now. Hold on. Alright, so now we've got our mustard in there too. Looks amazing. Okay, so that is looking all bubbly and delicious. So now I'm going to add my tuna, cheese, and peas and noodles and stir it all up. That looks really good. So now we're going to make this sort of topping that goes on the top. And we're mixing our breadcrumbs, paprika, and Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to mix it with some melted butter. And it makes like a crumbly topping that will sprinkle on the top. Probably should have used a bigger bowl. Let's get a bigger bowl. So we'll melt this up a little bit. And now we're just going to sprinkle this over the top. Definitely is a lot of breadcrumb topping. I don't know if I'm going to use it all. It seems like a lot. That seems like plenty, so I'm not going to use it all because it seems like there's plenty in there. Okay, so now we're just going to let this cool off, and then I'll put it in the fridge until it's time for dinner, and I'll just whip it out and bake it. Okay, so it's about time to make dinner, and I took it out of the fridge and let it warm up to room temperature for a bit. And now I'm gonna put it in my convected oven. The recipe says for 375, but it's convected, so we're gonna do 350. I decided to use the convected oven just because it's gonna work a lot better. It's gonna come out better. This one works better for baking than the RV oven. So in it goes, probably 35-45 minutes. This looks done. It was in there for 45 minutes at 350. I'm gonna cut into this and see how it is. There we go. How is it, Ed?
It's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, I like it.
Yay. What do you think, buddy? Homie, don't play that. Homie, don't play that. Alright, I'm going to give this a try. Let's see what we got. Yum. I always feel like the celery could be softer, but it's still really good. And I'm glad that I didn't put all of the topping on top because I think it would have been too much. So yeah, if you decide to make this, I'd cut the topping recipe in half, that part of it. Alright, I'm going to finish eating this. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you make this, let me know how it turns out. Leave me a comment and let me know what happened. Alright, until next time.